Jesus explains, a surprise in heaven. Grace is dispensed on your behalf. March 9th, 2007. From Clare's EBook Chronicles of the Bride, spoken by Jackie. A dialogue between Jesus and Sister Clare. Jesus and I are on a small sailboat, crossing a very large lake, headed in the direction of some steep mountains on a distant shore. I see myself as a young woman on the bow of the sailboat. We have entered a lush cove with thick jungle, climbing steep hills on either side. The water is pristine emerald, with a white sandy bottom. We are approaching a pier at the end of the cove, where a small crowd of native women and children have come out excitedly to greet us. I'm quite surprised, because I don't know any of them, yet they seem to know me. Jesus replied to my unspoken thoughts. "You are their mother." "I am?" I replied incredulously. "But how can that be, Lord?" "Anyone who does the will of the Father is mother to them." After we pulled up to the pier, Jesus got out first and then helped me. The children immediately surrounded me and started putting orchids in my hair. One of the heavy-set native women walked up to me with a group of ladies and placed an exquisitely embroidered white satin scapular with golden thread embroidery and white silk French knots, trimming the edges, upon my shoulder. It is executed with outstanding skill, Jesus explained. "They have made this for you because of your great love for them. Many graces dispensed on your behalf went to them. In those times when others did not respond to our labors, the graces were shed on a poor and simple people who would. There are many saints here, exceptional saints." One little boy squeezed his way through the crowd with an older girl right behind him, and brought me an oyster shell with a lovely pearl in its center. He looked into my eyes, and I into his. They were like windows into eternity. The boy is little, the soul immense. For a brief second I came to understand a little of the intoxication we must cause the Lord with our love for Him, and why He would be willing to suffer so terribly for just this one precious soul. Jesus introduced him to me. His name is Pantutu, and his sister is Eruru. I have saved this for you as a most special surprise. It is the day after my birthday. I am so touched, so grateful, my eyes stream with tears. What can I do for you, little one? He answered, "You've already done so much." Precious, I kissed his little hand and lifted him up into my lap. Holding him, he rested his little head over my heart, and I felt drawn away into a fathomless exchange of love. When I came back to myself, we were departing in the sailboat. I looked back at little Pantutu, who was waving, and I said, "Lord, isn't there something special we can give him?" Jesus handed me a small gold chain and locket that had his picture embossed on it. Inside were two pictures, which I did not see. I tossed it to him on the shore, and taking it in his little hands, he examined it carefully, then looked up with a giant grin as he placed it around his head. Jesus assured me, "My love, this is a real place in heaven, with real souls, your very own offspring, our offspring." At that point, our sailboat began to gradually move back out of the cove. I was waving goodbye, and he began running along the shoreline, following us. "Pantutu, keep me in your prayers," I said, knowing the prayers of pure souls carry much weight with the Father. You are the reason he is here. It is your prayers and offerings that released the graces to make his salvation possible. So many children, so many souls you don't know about, so many surprises. I could only weep tears of thanksgiving for seeing such fruit in heaven. I reflected later after this experience was over. Many years ago, I longed to go to Africa as a result of a vision I experienced during prayer of women and children calling for help with their arms outstretched. They were living in squalor and so very destitute. I wanted to go to them, but as the Lord would have it, obedience kept us in the States, but I never forgot them. And it seems now that ministry that did not seem to be fruitful here in America, in some mystical way bore fruit in Africa. The Lord has promised, "My word shall not return to me void. It will accomplish that for which I sent it." We believe that the Lord did all the work necessary for each soul's salvation on the cross, but someone must carry the message, and for this backup prayers, fasts, and other offerings act as a catalyst to release the graces they need in the mission field. It has been our experience that when we have labored for a soul and they do not accept the grace, the Lord, in his perfect economy of salvation, gives the grace to a soul that is ready to accept it, so that even those who are far removed from the mission field by their offerings assist those who are out there laboring.